Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Stephanny. If you're new here, welcome. So today's video is going to be about a story time what happened this past weekend. So basically it was about Friday, Saturday, whichever you want to consider it. So for me it will be Saturday at 1 to 2 a.m. in the morning. And I was half awake, half asleep. I was watching TV and I heard screaming, and I thought it was my next door neighbor, but it wasn't. What really got me out of bed was when I heard like shattered glass, like something was broken. So for a moment I thought, because it was so close, so I thought it was inside my apartment. So I come out and I go to my roommate's room to see if everything's okay, and she's like on the phone trying to call security as 3. And I was like, no, scratch that. I have the non-emergency police number, the dispatcher, on my phone as a speed dial because of my baby's father. Like, I am a nanny. Quick side note, I'm a nanny. I take care of a baby. So the father of the baby that I take care of, it works for the dispatcher. So I have his phone number and his work number in my phone, so in case of emergency. So I just had to go to my recent call logs, which is the dad, and just go and click work. So I did that, and I called. Obviously he was not at work, so someone answered, and I told them what was happening. I told them that they've been arguing for like about 30 minutes. About this time it's been 30 minutes, and I didn't take it seriously until I heard like something break. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it was like the glass door from like the porch or if it was a window, but something broke. And there's been fighting and everything. So I stayed on the line, whatever. So long story short, the police came. And the police comes outside, and there was 2 police cars. They come outside, like come down, and they asked the males if everything was okay. And the males said yes. And then the police just got back into their cars and drove away. Mind you, I told the dispatcher that something broke and that they've been fighting, like hands-on fighting. So yeah, so that got me like, okay, whatever. So as soon as the police left, they started fighting again. So mind you, I'm inside my apartment. I'm just like eavesdropping with my roommate, since it's very dark outside. So like we're right by our door and we're just eavesdropping into the conversation, like why they're screaming, why they're yelling, why they're fighting. And I'm on the 3rd floor, and this is happening on the 1st floor. So I actually did record it, like the little bit of when they were arguing. I will post that in the end of the video. It was on my Snapchat, so if you guys follow me on Snapchat, then you must have heard it. So basically my roommate goes and she's trying to call security because the police didn't do anything, and security is saying it's not our job, it's not our position, called law enforcement. But I called law enforcement and nothing happened. So then my roommate was like, hey Stephanny, I think they're by your car. So that's when my eyes opened and I went back to my room. I checked outside my window and I see them in my on my car. Like they're laying on top of my car and they're fighting next to my car. So mind you, they broke something, but at this point I don't know what they broke. So I got really upset. I got really mad because now I don't know you. You're having a fight at 2 in the damn morning. You're by my car. You broke something. Best believe you're not gonna break something from my car. So I grabbed my keys and I went downstairs. Yes, I know I put myself in danger. I put myself in risk. But at that time, I wasn't thinking. At that time, I was just frustrated to be woken up by bed. I mean, in the middle of the night when I was laying down in my bed waiting for my significant other to call. You know, knowing that they're by my own property, like my thing, something that I own. So I just went outside. My room is right behind me. And I told them, get the F out of my car. And it was 3 males and 1 female. All 3 males were drunk. I don't know about the female. She kind of talked normal, so I guess she was not drunk. I'm not sure. But the male was like, oh, this is your car? And then all up on my face. He's like, this is your car? You know what? And he's like all up on my face trying to hit me. So that made me like, oh, hell no. You trying to hit me? Like, touch me and I will get your ass arrested. Excuse me for my language. So he's like, oh, so you wanna start this? So he's all up on my ass, and then like the two males are like holding him back, and he's like, nah. She's saying, get the fuck out of her car. Sorry, language. And then I'm like, yeah, because you're in my effing property. And then the girl was like, I'm sorry, ma'am, like this is la la la, like we don't live here. And I'm like, wait, so you don't live here? You're making a chaotic noise outside this building, like, and you're on top of someone's property. Like, get the F away from this property. Like, leave. Like, I was defending myself because, like, dude, it's 2 a.m. So now all 3 guys trying to jump me and hit me because I'm saying leave the property since they don't live here. But if you don't live here and you're making a disruption at 2 in the effing morning, then you need to get out. You need to leave. I don't know why you're here. I don't care why you're here. The moment that I had to butt into this argument, to this fight between those 3 males, is because you were on top of my property. You were on my car, and that is not okay. And then my roommate's trying to call security, trying to call police, because, like, again, like, they try to lay hands on me multiple times because I was defending myself and I was telling them, get the F away from my car. So they didn't like that. They didn't like that I was, like, you know, cursing them out. But at this point, I didn't care. There were 3 tall guys. Mind you, I am 5'1", and they were about 6'1", 6'2", and they were kind of big. And I'm like this tiny little person confronting this 3 big person, and I'm like, get the F away from me. Like, don't touch me. And they're like, oh, you want me to touch you? You want me to hit you? And I'm like, no, mother F. Leave me alone. Get away. And the girl's like, I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm getting an Uber. I'm like, I don't care about getting an Uber. Leave the property. Order an Uber somewhere else. There's a gate right there. Get out. But long story short, that didn't happen. So at this point, my mother and my significant other was calling me because, like, I told them, like, you know, something's going on. But then, you know, they're telling me, get away from that, because, like, you never know what situation you're putting yourself in at 2 a.m. in the morning, confronting 3 drunk men, when I could have easily got harmed. They pointed it out that they could have easily had a weapon on them, and I could have been killed that night because, like, the alcohol influenced whatever's going on. However, I didn't feel safe because I went back upstairs, called security, called police again, and I told the dispatcher that answered me the second time, I was like, listen, I called the first time, like, not even 15 minutes ago. They came, they left. They only asked if everything was okay. They said yes, and they got in their car and left, and that's not okay with me. Like, I'm sorry that I sound really upset and frustrated to you, but it's not okay because of law enforcement is supposed to make me feel safe, supposed to help their citizens feel safe, and it's not okay that I told you in the report there's shattered glass, something broke, don't know what it broke at this time, but they're fighting at 2 a.m. in the morning. So I need someone here, and on top of that, the 3 gentlemen that were downstairs arguing and fighting were about to lay hands on me. Like, that's not okay. So they were like, yes, ma'am, I understand. So finally, after, like, a while, like, I guess the whole residents of this building kept calling security, like the S3. Mind you, they said that is none of their problem, none of their business, because they don't handle those type of situation. Law enforcement has to. They finally arrived after I don't know how many calls we had to make, because they literally answers, is this from building da 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 da? I know we can't do anything about it, but we heard about the situation. If you're security, you're supposed to be in our property roaming around, but you're not. So okay, so the police comes, and then they told me, like, to go back inside, you know, and they checked every single car. The security of the apartment finally tells the people to leave. There was a report. Long story short, there was a window broken. That's what happened to the glass shattered. The next day I got my baby, like I said early in the video, like, I watch a baby, you know, and her dad works at dispatcher, because I called them also, and he texted me super early in the morning. He's like, hey Steph, is everything okay? What happened? And I told him in person when he dropped off the baby, and he's like, the only reason why the police did that was because of the virus is going around. They want to be safe and secure, and they don't want to catch anything. And that's not okay with me. It's not, because I feel like just because I know that there's a virus going around, but that shouldn't prevent my safety. I didn't feel safe in my own apartment complex. Something could have happened to me. These were 3 men that my dumb ass was confronting at 2 a.m. in the morning. I had no weapon on me. I didn't have no taser, no pepper spray, no gun, no pocket knife, nothing. And I was just my dumb self, my dumb little 5'1" person was outside 2 in the morning confronting, yelling, screaming at these 3 gentlemen. You know, so it wasn't okay, and I had to call police twice for help, and they didn't do anything. And then security comes, and then they didn't even care, and that's not okay. Like, in my perspective, in my opinion, is that if I'm paying $700 for this apartment, security needs to come and help me, because I live in a private community, and they just trespassed. They just started disrupting the residents, and that's not okay, you know. So nothing happened to my car that I know of. I haven't really fully checked because I don't want to come out, because like I'm just frustrated, I'm upset, like, you know, and I know who neighbor it was, and like if I do ever cross path and I'm still like upset about it, I might say something to that neighbor, because they were the one that had the party. They had a party. That's what happened, apparently, according to my leasing manager that called me yesterday, because she told me what happened, because I told her I wanted to report the incident that happened, how they almost hurt me. So I'm really upset about it. I don't feel safe at all, and I feel like I shouldn't have a secondary weapon with me. Like, okay, I bought a taser, that's it, I have a taser, but I feel like I shouldn't be carrying a gun with me because of this incident. Like, I got my ass chewed by higher ups for not having a gun on me, but I'm not a really big on guns, so I shouldn't have a gun. Yes, I made a mistake of coming out with not a secondary weapon to protect myself and defend myself, but not to be chewed at with not having a gun. I don't feel like I need to have a gun to protect myself, like in this situation. I'm not okay that law enforcement didn't really want to care about the situation, because if really, it could have turned into another 360, and it could have been worse than it was on Saturday. But they didn't care. They didn't bother to look around on the shattered glass that I stated. They didn't bother to like asking why are they out at 2 a.m. in the morning fighting, you know? Like, they didn't bother to ask questions or anything, and that's not okay. So the way I feel about this virus is, I guess we're being, like, we have to be, you know, stuck inside. Like, there's not very little movement. We cannot be in big crowds, but still, like, for example, our grocery people, like my sister-in-law works at a grocery store. She has over 40 hours this week. So, you know, people that are putting their lives at risk you know, we have to say thank you to it, like, to them. You know, my own roommate, she's like one of the, like, basically a manager at Target, and she's working over 40 hours. And that's like little things like that. Like, they're putting their life at risk to make sure that we are good with the essentials that we need, since we're stuck at home and there's not that much movements. However, police and law enforcement, their job is to protect us. But what did they do to make me feel safe? Nothing. They just drove up. They didn't even fully pulled into the apartment like to the building. They like by the exit came out, and like they didn't even got near the people. They just got outside the car and just like, is everything okay? They scream out, yes officer, went back inside, ditched the apartment. That's not okay. And I feel like at this point, yes, of the virus, it could be like, you know, it could be around, you know, what and whatsoever. But right now we only have 2 cases confirmed in Tallahassee. That's right now, last time I checked. But if I called for help multiple times, and I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that called for help, since last thing that I heard was like the whole residents in the apartment complex was calling security. So I'm guessing, and since security didn't want to help, I'm guessing they called police too. Why didn't they come out and actually ask questions like, why are you outside? Or look at the broken glass that I said that happened, you know? So that was like a scenario that I did not appreciate. that was my story basically. And yeah, so I'm still upset about it. I haven't really checked my car. I did learn a lesson. Yeah, like I should have a weapon, but not having. I don't. Still not a go for it for guns yet. I do have a taser now. But that's what really happened, and that's my quick story time. So leave me your comments of what you think about the situation and what could have been a better way for me to handle it. Like, I understand I should have just stayed my ass home inside and never like confronted these guys. Like, that's what my parents' perspective was, even though they were on my car. But still, like, I don't know who these people are. You know, my leasing manager is still trying to find out who these people are. So like, it's God forbids, but like they broke a mirror or something, or a window or something, or they broke into my car, you know. Like, I work hard for that car, so obviously I'm gonna take care of my car. But yeah, so like, leave me your comments, leave me opinions of what you guys thought about it. I didn't think it was okay. I didn't feel safe, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe, like, you know, the police, the law enforcement was okay. Like, they did the right thing and just stay away from the car and not handle the situation. I don't know. I do live in a small college town. This is a small town, so, but still, like, in my opinion, that was a no-go. So thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.
And I would work with these people. Man, you've been trying to talk about music earlier. You do this to me. You do this to me. No.